Hello, all my lovelies. Welcome to June. We've officially made it to halfway mark of 2020. Good news is that it's looking to kind of step up here in the quality of life department within June and July. So for most of you, I know that is a really, actually I think for everybody, that's a very exciting piece of news. I am sure prepared and ready for some changes to take place. It's been a pretty interesting 6 months, but this particular reading is going to be focusing around the summer solstice and what that's going to bring in for you, as well as I want to review how it's going to affect you overall, the main goals that you need to be aware of and focusing on, as well as how it's going to affect your love and your money. Now, it's been an interesting energy. A lot of people have been having trouble with all sorts of uncomfortable things when it comes to this last new moon. There's a lot of release with energy. There's been some communication challenges, whether that's your own words coming out. I have been struggling with getting like sentences out recently. And there's also been a lot of emotional closures, a lot of movement towards unfamiliar territory and really kind of building yourself up to be able to deal with those situations in a different way, being tested to not go in a cycle from the past but to grow into something new. And there has also been some issues with closing ends that need to be closed and some addiction problems. A lot of people have been drinking a little bit more, trying to release some of those addictions, a lot more mental thought on your health and what you're bringing into your body. All of those types of self-awareness type aspects are really being focused on through May and into June. So we've also got things developing in a very positive route. Okay, so all that might be a little bit more daunting, but on the positive side, things that you've been planting seeds with, whether there's just been mentally, you've been manifesting, or you've been waiting for things to just kind of develop and roll forward, June and July starts to take place with all of that. June's more prepping, and July is really more of an initiation month from what I've seen doing readings for others when we look forward in the future a little bit. It's been very consistent. So we're going to take a look at those aspects. I hope all of you have been doing very well, and if you are interested in looking at your personal situation, let me know. All my information is down below. I have a 50% off sale going on right now. All of my information about the manifestation class is down there, as well as how to book a reading. Okay, so general reading, guys, take what fits and leave the rest. Let's take a look at how things are going for you. All right, Aquas, let's see how everything's affecting you with personal aspects, love, and money. I'm seeing the Nine of Pentacles trying to reveal itself there. So far I'm getting a good vibe. I'm also seeing that Five of Swords peeking, so we'll see what that's all about. Alright, so personally for the Aquas here, we've got, Five of Swords, Ten of Swords, High Priestess. Personally speaking, we've got some mental energy that is either kind of coming in and going out, or you're holding on to it and trying to kind of get an idea of what it means, what to do with it, how you can grow from it, how you can use it for your benefit. But a lot of mental conflict taking place. So the Five of Swords is coming from that ego type and energy, that ego type thinking or way of seeing things. So you might be in kind of a mode of being not necessarily sharp with people around you, but direct, okay, and not really taking a lot of shit. You're trying to release things that you needed to in this last new moon and with all the astrological things taking place, but there's just been a lot going on up in here, and you've been trying to use it for your gain as far as rising above the situation, okay? You're almost like, I'll be damned if I'm going to let this, rule any part of like my mentality or my well-being or my quality of life or things like that. You're in a very strong position there, but it's still all going on. It's like this big swirl of shit going on. But the Ten of Swords is also it's a very persevering type of energy towards, I'm determined to let this, to release this, to let this go. But it's almost like you had to find the meaning of certain things before you could let it go. You had to understand why certain things felt certain ways, why certain things happened that you just had such a surety when it was going on what it meant for your future, but it didn't develop that way. And that's the last piece that I feel like you've been hanging on to, is the meaning of some of those deeper connected types of situations that have taken place, or feelings that you have encountered. So I'm going to assume this is probably infiltrating into relationships, but weighing out some of those things so that you can go in a new direction here. Either it could be with the same person, but for most of you this is brand new, but you had to get those scales back to balance here and allow yourself to see things from a fresh perspective. But the only way you could really, really, really do that was to make the scales neutral again. You couldn't have one, side of you outweighing the other and still try to make a sound decision. So let's see where this is going and any suggested actions. So Wheel of Fortune. So in doing all of this mental preparation here and cycling through all that, you are getting ready to have a shift. It's a good shift. It's a big shift, but it's also a good luck type shift. Okay, this is positive progression, universal things kind of coming into play because of the decisions that you're making. How you're going to feel about this is you're going to have a pretty quick response when it comes to your emotional side of things. It could be love, but overall it's in regards to feeling that emotional support and that emotional connection with another person. So for most of you, you know who this is. It's somebody that's been there for you for quite a long time, and you're finally able to reach out to this person. For some of you, you haven't met this person yet, and you are getting into a mental position where you're getting ready to enter into a space where you can come into interactions or communications with this person. So overall, it's just a safe and confident space that shows you're ready to make that move, that you're ready to take on the next level in your emotional space, I guess, just being emotionally ready to have a new relationship. There's been some healing, and you were very honest with yourself on what you could do and what you couldn't do, and you were going to wait until you were emotionally ready completely. So I respect the hell out of that. Now, let's just see how this affects relationships and love. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see that. Alright, so we've got the Hierophant, the Two of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. So, again, for those of you who have not met somebody, you are very ready to do so. You're not exactly ready to jump into anything in a huge rush, but you are mentally ready and spiritually ready to make a connection with somebody. It makes you a little bit nervous, but half in a butterfly, excited kind of a way, and half in a my guard's a little bit up because I don't want that shit to happen again, and I'm going to make sure it doesn't, kind of an energy. They're very direct, like I said earlier. But overall, you might be direct, but I'm not saying you're still not in that very sensual and peaceful type space too. So you're ready to have that relationship, and you're ready to take ready to communicate, I guess. So ready to communicate, ready to make that move towards something that's very long term and that's final. You're not looking for a short term anything here. So suggestion as far as action to take, we've got the Three of Wands. So get out there and meet people. Get out there and try out this new energy. If you have met somebody, by the way, this is saying you're getting ready to take it to the next level. Yes, everybody might be a little nervous, but it's getting ready to balance in ways that you haven't quite seen just yet. It's getting to that place of permanence for a lot of you guys. A lot of planning, a lot of preparation, a lot of movement, all right? A lot of communicating, and a lot of expression when it comes to the things that you want to do together. So very busy month. I am seeing a very busy month for you. All right, anything that you need to know. We've got the Judgment card. So trust what's happening, okay? I'm seeing spiritual awakening, spiritual clarity, realizations that things are coming around full cycle and that new beginnings are taking place. That's why this Queen of Cups is a Queen of Cups, because she's emotionally feeling the renewal of her emotions and all of this preparation that she's been doing. She's finally ready to accept, to reach out her cup, so that being before it was like a very guarded type of situation. Yes, she was putting herself out there to be seen, but not necessarily to belong to anybody yet, just to herself. And now she's ready to reach that cup out and accept, one in return. So that is a very reassuring type of energy for my Aquas here. Anything that you guys need to do, be aware of here. Ace of Cups. So don't be afraid when the opportunity does present itself when it comes to relationships. I would imagine you guys are getting ready to enter into a pretty serious contract with somebody. And if not, you're meeting somebody that will have the potential to do that here very quickly. Okay, I do see that happening pretty quickly, but this is a very fulfilling opportunity for you relationship-wise and in love. So don't run from it if it does present itself, okay? This could be definitely the one that's going to be long-term for you. All right. Now, in money, we've got Page of Cups, the Sun card, the Three of Pentacles. Well, that's very positive. So you could have some new things coming your way that are new ways of bringing in income, or you could just have several different means and resources for money flowing in. The Three of Pentacles is being able to plan certain things with either yourself, or just being able to have that boost of personal energy so that you can take care of some things, so that you can maybe take on a couple new positions, or maybe you are exploring kind of a new direction with something. Either way, you definitely have an amp up in personal energy so that you can take on a lot of that. You could also be receiving a lot of different types of income right now as well, and it's allowing you to do a lot more than you could in previous months here. So you're planning, I see you're making some either reservations, or you're just prepping for a big, some of you are going on a nice little trip, okay? You're trying to prep for some of that for this summer, and others of you are making a bigger move than that, okay? You're actually making like reservations for moving trucks, or places that you're going to live, things like that. But I am seeing a big shift when it comes to that kind of stuff, and money kind of going out a little bit. Alright, suggested action to take, Queen of Pentacles. So just stay grounded, alright? Keep your resources stay one step ahead, okay? And that way you can avoid any kind of unnecessary restriction or fears or anxiety, alright? And in case you were wondering, a lot of this is taking place because you are entering a space where you are justifiably ready to take this higher path and to sign this new contract with this person, or with this whatever's coming into your life. You are mentally ready to do this. So I think this is for some of you who are maybe questioning a little bit on, yeah, but is this the right thing? There's always at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, but is this the right thing? Yes, there's definitely a justifiable means for your better interest, okay, and your higher good. So that's to confirm that. I'll pull a couple confirmation cards for the self. We've got make a move. All right, so make a move is talking about taking that higher path and not being afraid to take on a little bit of a shift just because it's a change in general. It's saying use that energy, use that increase in that in your stamina, in your confidence, in your finances, all this beneficial energy that's happening, that's why it's happening. It's to use it towards making moves right now. Seasonal harvest for relationships. So seeds were planted, everything's been growing in a way that it's now making sense. You're ready to do this. For some of you, you're like, I'm not even necessarily worried about it, but that's what's making you prepped and ready for that next move. Others of you have been waiting for some time, but have needed that healing and that mental clarity, as I mentioned earlier, just putting meaning to a lot of those different aspects that happened in life. So that's taking place, but now we're coming into the harvest point where it's now prepping, and it's to the ripening point of making that next move and being out of all that old energy, being done with it, and ready to take on something new and something better. And for finances, listening to wisdom. So I think this one's pretty tough for you because you don't like spending money and you're worried about spending money in areas that could lead to bad decision making or whatever. But listening to wisdom is utilizing the support systems that you have in place, trusting the system that you've developed, sitting down and writing out your pros and cons, deciding what resonates with you, meditating on that and feeling out whether or not it really sits with you or it doesn't. What's your plan B? Just getting your basics down, and then after that it's just listening to your intuition and to your guides, whether that's number synchronicities, feathers, colors, whatever it is you resonate to, animals, whatever. The point is you're listening and you're making decisions with enough time to feel it out. Okay, you don't want to make a rash decision. You don't want to do something right away, and you'll feel like you've made a better decision because you've given yourself enough time to really reason out what you need to, or just you gave it enough time to, if there's a red flag or if there is something that's developing, you gave it some time to do that without just making that decision. So take your time with things and definitely listen to your intuition. If you're feeling nervous about it or there's a red flag of any kind or you're just not sure, don't do it, and you need to wait and weigh out what that is, and keep doing that through this process, and you will end up with exactly what you want. So I hope that helps, and if you guys need to look into your situation, let me know. Otherwise, have a great month. Much love to you.